गुड मॉर्निंग. मागच्या लेक्चरपर्यंत आपण किंगडम ॲनिमालियाचे वेगवेगळे फायलम्स बघितले होते. त्या फायलममध्ये वेगवेगळे कॅरेक्टर्स त्याचे बघितले होते. त्याच्यामध्ये सुरुवातीपासून आपण पुन्हा एकदा जर रिवाईज केलं की कुठल्या प्रकारचे फायलम्स आहेत, रिमेंबर करण्यासाठी किंवा लक्षात ठेवण्यासाठी ही एक गोष्ट महत्त्वाची असते. त्याच्यामध्ये सुरुवातीचा पहिला फायलम पोरीफेरा, दूसरा फायलम निडारिया और सिलेंटरेटा, तीसरा फायलम टिनोफोरा, चौथा फायलम प्लॅटीहेल्मिंथिस, पाचवा फायलम ॲस्केल्मिंथिस, सहावा फायलम ॲनेलिडा, सातवा फायलम अर्थ्रोपोडा, आठवा फायलम मोलुस्का आणि मोलुस्कानंतर 9th फायलम आपल्याला बघायचा आहे इकायनोडर्माटा. इकायनोडर्माटा itself says that the spiny skin. The word itself tells us that the skin of this organism or this animal is a spiny. Echinops, spines, derma, skin. It does mean that exoskeleton formed of spines or small short spines, you can simply say, as well as endoskeleton is formed of dermal plates. Those are calcareous in nature, and therefore these are the echinoderms which are completely different. Echinoderms are the mostly marine. They are found in the ocean or salt water. When we talk about the all different kinds of the other characters, general characteristics of these echinoderms you can simply apply. When we look at the symmetry, mostly they are radial or pentamerous symmetry is there. Pentamerous symmetry they have. Pentamerous symmetry. 5 angles are there which can divide this organism into the 5 different equal parts. Therefore it is a pentamerous symmetry. As we have said earlier, these are the multicellular organisms, eukaryotic. These are triploblastic. As we know, these are coelomates. Body organization, organ systems are present. So these are the some of the general characteristics we can apply for these echinoderms. When we look into the details of the echinodermata, at that time specific peculiar characteristic of this echinodermata, peculiar character of echinodermata is presence of water vascular system. The water vascular system is a peculiar characteristics of this echinodermata. This water vascular system is used for the many different kinds of the purpose. For example, it is used for the circulation, respiration, digestion, etc. Locomotion. It opens or it has an opening that is called as a madreporite. madreporite, and that madreporite is used for the entry of the water, into the water vascular system. Entry of water occurs through the madreporite, and then they are responsible for the filling of the water into the water vascular system. Water vascular system is formed of different kinds of the canals and then the tube pits, and through the lower part of the lower opening of the tube pit, these water which is entered into the body is given out, and so these tube pit are used for the used as a what we can say suction pressure, or these are attached to the different substratum, and it is used for the movement. So this water vascular system is importantly used for the locomotion, respiration, digestion, circulation, or different kinds of the mechanisms and or different kinds of the body activities. There is a specialized respiratory system as well as a respiratory organs are also present. Respiration especially occurs through the many different kinds of the structures. These are called as a what we can say gills are there. You can also see different kinds of the respiratory tree is present. Respiratory tree is also present, and therefore it's a different kinds of the respiratory organs they do have. So these have all different kinds of the different organs and organ systems well developed. When we look at the nervous system is a simple with a nerve ring at a mouth, nerve ring at a mouth, because when we look at these animals or these echinoderms, body is divisible into the two different parts. Body is divisible into the two different parts because it's a very different kinds of the structures we can see. As we have said earlier, it is a pentamerous, it has a pentamerous symmetry, and therefore they have 5 arms. These arms have a lower and upper surface. Lower surface is called as a oral surface, where there is a oral opening, and when we look at the other kind of end opposite to that, there is another, that is this side of this echinoderm which is having a oral opening, that is a oral side, and opposite side is a aboral, remember. So these two sides we can divide, or this organism is divisible into the many different parts, that is of a two, oral and the aboral, and many different other peripheral parts we can see. So nervous system do have the nerve rings at a oral or surrounding to the oral opening, and therefore it is called as a nerve ring, and then they have branches of nerves which are running into the arms, and therefore it do have different kinds of the nervous system as well. When we look at the reproduction is internal, indirect, and very simple as well. They also have high power of regeneration, and so such kind of the organisms are the echinodermata. So only 2 to 3 characters we must remember when we look into the echinodermata is spiny skin or hard calcareous plates present in the exoskeleton as well as into the endoskeleton, and then presence of the water vascular system. Respiration is completely different, digestive system is completely different, then presence of the nervous system with a nerve ring and power of regeneration. These are the main important characteristics of this echinodermata or phylum Echinodermata. So it is another phylum of the phylum kingdom Animalia. Then we will move towards the another phylum, that is a phylum Hemichordata. Hemichordata. These hemichordates are especially initially these were confusing, and therefore those have many different kinds of the other characteristics as well. So we will see some of the characteristics. Earlier this hemichordata, earlier this hemichordata was the phylum of, or it is a group under chordata, because the buccal cavity, diverticulum, we can say diverticulum is considered as the notochord, which is not a characteristic of this hemichordata. This characteristic buccal diverticulum itself was considered as a notochord, and therefore it was included into the chordata. But right now we know that this is a buccal diverticulum and not a notochord. This buccal diverticulum is looking like a rod, and therefore that buccal cavity or buccal diverticulum looking as it looks like a rod, and therefore it was considered as a notochord. But right now we came to know that this is the buccal diverticulum and it is not a notochord, therefore it has shifted to the hemichordata. And so right now it is a separate phylum which is not under the, or it is completely separate than the phylum chordata, and that is the hemichordata. Half chordates, we can simply say these are the half chordates. So the body is completely different of this hemichordates. Body we can see body is a vermiform, elongated, tubular. It is divisible into the three different parts, that is proboscis, then collar and the trunk. So body is divisible into the three parts, that is a proboscis, collar and the trunk. The proboscis, where mouth is covered with a fold of a skin, that is the proboscis. The collar, which is a somewhat different and looking a junction between or connection between the trunk and the proboscis, that is a collar, and the remaining body, which is looking a tail like, that is a trunk. When we look at the digestive system is complete. It opens at the end of the, or at the tip of the proboscis, and the anus is present at the tip of the trunk, and therefore there is no postanal tail, or tail is not present in this organism. These hemichordates are completely different. Respiration occurs through the gills. Respiration through gills. There are large number of the gills, or many gills are present, and these gills are present in the gill slits, and this is the important characteristics which is equal to the chordates, and therefore they may be called as hemichordates. So these hemichordates are exclusively marine. They are found into the marine habitat. These are exclusively marine. or they are found only in the ocean or only in the salt water, and they are not found into the fresh water. In the marine environment as well, in the marine habitat as well, they are found at the bottom into the mud. So these are completely different. When we look at the reproduction is internal. Reproduction internal, reproduction external, that is fertilization, we can simply say fertilization, simply say. When we look at the development is indirect through the development of the larva, and that larva is a free swimming larva, larva we do observe in this case of the hemichordates. So these are the hemichordates, completely different types of the organisms or the different animals. These are soft bodied as well, their body is very soft. So these different kinds of the phylums from the spatially the porifera to the hemichordata, these are considered as invertebrates or non-chordates. These are non-chordates or invertebrates. When we look at the other kind of the characteristics of the vertebrate, general characteristic of the vertebrates and the invertebrates or chordates and the non-chordates, then we can consider some of the common characteristics we do observe in the non-vertebrates. So these are the non-chordate body of a non-chordate, which is taken with a section, body section, TS is taken, and when we have a TS, at that time we can see different kinds of the characters, a special type of organ systems present at one or other end. So it may be a dorsal side, and it is a ventral side of the body, and then we can compare the arrangement of the different body organs. When we look at this non-chordates, at that time the nerve cord is present at the ventral side. Nerve cord is present at the ventral side, as well as when we look at the dorsal heart is present, dorsal blood vessels, we can say blood vessel, which is acts as a what we can say heart as well. It acts as a heart as well, and therefore it is completely different. And so mostly diploblastic or triploblastic, that is depending on the what kind of the organism it is. So internal middle body cavity may be there or may not be, they have body cavity. In some cases there is a body cavity, in some cases there is a no body cavity, and it is a middle is the gut. So simply you can visualize these different structures of the non-chordates. When we look at the structures of the chordates, you can visualize these structures in the many different way. Central cavity, that is a gut, we can say gastrointestinal tract. And when we look at the ventral side, there is a heart, you can say there is a heart is present to the ventral side of the body. And when we look at the dorsal side, at that time at the dorsal side there are two different kinds of the structures. One is a notochord, and another is the presence of the nerve cord. So these are the many different kinds of the structures which can be distinguished from each other, that is in the chordates, non-chordates and the chordates. So you can visualize these different kinds of the characters through the TS. When we look at the longitudinal section of the body through the median line of the, or at the ventral median line or dorsal median line. At that time we can visualize different kinds of the structures as well. For example, if we take a organism of this another type, that is a non-chordate type, at that time we can visualize many different structures. Body starts at the mouth and then the digestive system goes at the end and ends into the anus. There is a complete digestive system. In some cases there is a no complete digestive system formed. When we look at the dorsal side, there is a dorsal blood vessel is present. You can simply see that is a dorsal blood vessel. You will see dorsal blood vessel. When we look at the lower side, there is another structure which can be considered as a nerve cord. This nerve cord is present at the ventral side. Nerve cord is present at the ventral side. So through the plane as well, and it is a gut. You can simply say gut, a digestive system is there. So these do have exoskeleton. Exoskeleton is present in most of the, or all of the, we can say, non-chordates. And in some cases there is an endoskeleton also we do find, such as in mollusca. In molluscan case there can be the endoskeletal system you will find. So mostly exoskeleton is present, but endoskeleton is rarely found in the non-chordates. So these are the many different kinds of the structures. You can simply say here is the mouth and here is the anus. So these are the many different structures you can see in the non-chordates. These are the non-chordates. When we look at the another kind of animals which are completely different, I will make some different structure here. So there is a mouth. You can simply say that we have a different kinds of the structures as well, and these ends into the some other kind of the structure before the posterior end of this body, and it opens into the many different structures. Here can be the heart, which is completely different. You can see that is a heart which is present at the ventral side. When we look at the dorsal side, there are two different kinds of the structures. One is the maybe a notochord and another is the maybe nerve cord. So these are the many different structures you will find. There may be exoskeleton, or there may be endoskeleton. You can simply say there is also endoskeleton. Within this there can be some different kinds of the structures you can find. Gill slits are also present. So this is the important structure that is called as a notochord, and another is the nerve cord. These are present on the dorsal side, and therefore it makes a completely different structure. It is a anterior mouth, and this digestive system open into the anus. Then there are pharyngeal gill slits, are there. Ventral heart is there. Another important characteristics, the post anal tail. So these are the different characteristics of the chordates. So these are the chordates. These are the chordates. So above is the dorsal side. So whatever this is the dorsal side, it is the ventral side, and lower is the ventral side. So whenever we look into the two different kinds of the organisms or animals, this is the LS, longitudinal section of this animal, which are non-chordate one. In the non-chordate, mouth is present at the anterior of the body, and at the end of the body there is a anus. The digestive system is a complete one. There is a exoskeleton present with a chitinous exoskeleton or with some kind of the modifications as well. Calcareous exoskeleton is also present. So at the inner of the body we can see dorsal blood vessel is there, and notochord is not present, and therefore these are called as a non-chordates. So when we look at the ventral side of the body, there is a nerve cord, and nerve cord is ganglionated one. It may be double or single, but most of the time that nerve cord is a ganglionated nerve cord. So they also have many different kinds of the modification into the nervous system, and therefore these are completely different. Those are the non-chordates. When we look into the other kind of the general structures or general features of these chordate animals, at that time we can find the exoskeleton is present, maybe a calcareous or plate. Calcareous plates are present in the form of scales or hairs, and many different exoskeletal structures are present. They also do have endoskeleton. We are not presenting here, but they do have endoskeleton as well. When we look into the different kinds of the internal structures, at that time there is a notochord present and at the dorsal side, and inner to this or ventral to this nerve cord is situated. So most of the time notochord gives a protection to the nerve cord as well. So digestive system is a complete with a anterior opening called as a mouth, and the posterior opening of the digestive system is called as a anus. The pharyngeal gill slits are present for the respiration and opening of the gills, and another important structure, ventral heart is present. And when we look into the detailed structure of the body is divisible into the head, trunk and the tail, which is the part behind the anus is the tail. So this tail is called as a post-anal tail. So the post-anal tail is the important characteristics of the chordate. So you can visualize this difference between the chordates and non-chordate through these diagrams. So this is about difference between or distinction between the chordates and non-chordates. So we will look into the detail of the chordate animals, what are the different characteristics of the chordata, and then we will see what are the different classes as well as subgroups of the phylum chordata. So first we will look into the phylum chordata. Phylum chordata. This phylum chordata itself says that presence of notochord. Presence of notochord. Notochord. This notochord is a cartilaginous stick present in the body or present longitudinally into the body at the dorsal side, and therefore it is called as a notochord. Notochord itself, we can say notochord is a cartilaginous stick present in the body. Cartilaginous stick present in the body, that cartilaginous stick is nothing but the notochord. It is the important characteristic of the phylum chordata. Another important characteristic of the phylum chordata, hollow and dorsal nerve cord is present. Hollow and dorsal nerve cord is present. This nerve cord do have a opening called as a neural canal, and this neural canal makes it this nerve cord hollow. But when we look into the nerve cord of the non-chordates, at that time that non-chordate nerve cord is a solid. Here is the hollow and dorsal nerve cord is present. Another important, pharyngeal gill slits are present. Pharyngeal gill slits are present. So it is a third important characteristic of this phylum Chordata. Fourth important characteristics, ventral heart is present, and in some cases the postanal tail is also present. So 4 important characteristics we can visualize for this chordata: presence of a notochord through the one of the stage of the life. It may not be present throughout the life, but at the some stages of a life there must be presence of this notochord. In some cases notochord is present in the some part of the body for the some stages, and later on it disappears during the metamorphosis as well, but it does happen, it does present in the chordate animals. Another is the hollow dorsal nerve cord is present. It is the another peculiar characteristic of the phylum Chordata. Third peculiar characteristic, presence of the pharyngeal gill slits. Fourth important characteristic is the ventral heart is present, and therefore these are completely different animals. So these chordates can be divided into the 3 different kinds of the subphylum. So they are divided into the chordates are divided into the 3 different kinds of the subphylum. So these subphylum, one is the Urochordata, another is the Cephalochordata, and third is Vertebrata. So vertebrates, cephalochordates, urochordates. These are the 3 different kinds of the groups, subphylums you will find into the phylum Chordata. When we look at the urochordates, at that time urochordates do have their notochord present only in the tail region. Notochord in tail region, and therefore these are called as a uros. Uros means tail region. When we look at the cephalochordates, notochord present throughout the life and throughout the body. Notochord present throughout body. So it is an important characteristic. It is also, this notochord is also present in the head region, that is called as a cephalus, therefore it is a notochord. And when we look at the vertebrata, notochord is replaced by the vertebral column. Here notochord is replaced by vertebral column. And so these are the 3 different kinds of the subphylum of this phylum Chordata. We will see first, that is the urochordates. What are the urochordates and what are the different characteristics of the urochordates? As we know that uros means tail. Chorda means notochord, presence of the chordata with notochord. When we look into the definition or meaning of this urochordata, tail with notochord, you can simply say tail with notochord, or tail in notochord, or notochord in tail, you can say tail with notochord or notochord in tail. So in this case of the organisms or animals, notochord present in the tail region only, therefore these are called as a urochordates. Especially urochordates are commonly called as tunicates because their body cover is formed of tunic It is a special kind of a tissue or a special kind of a cover, or transparent special kind of a cover, or you can say transparent hard plastic like cover, that is a tunic, and this tunic is formed of a tunicine. And so this is the peculiar characteristic of this urochordates. And as we know, the notochord in tail region, is found. In the tail region, notochord is found. So these are the important characteristics of this urochordates. Notochord during this larval stage you can see, but after the metamorphosis, the notochord is lost, may be lost. Notochord may be lost, you can say. Metamorphosis, changes occurs during the life stages, and the organisms get matured into the adult, and during this process the notochord may be lost, and therefore you may not be find the notochord into the adult stage because of the metamorphotic loss of the notochord. So these are the different animals which are called as a urochordates. So these are the urochordates, or these can be called as a tunicates. Simply these are the tunicates. Another important organisms, those are the cephalochordates. In the cephalochordata, notochord in body or through body, or it is notochord is present through the body or throughout the body. That notochord extends from the head to tail. So cephalos means head, cephalos is head, and chorda means chordata means with notochord. So head with notochord is the meaning of this cephalochordata. These cephalochordates are also called as a lanceolate. These are called as lanceolate because these are looks like a lancet like animals, or these are just a fish like body is present, hard fish like body is present, or it is just a lancet like body, you can simply say lancet like body is present, and therefore it is a completely different kind of the animal. So you can simply say they have many different kinds of the projections on the body, and these are the lanceolates, and so therefore we can simply say lanceolates. The examples we can take for this cephalochordata, they are simply the different kinds of the cephalochordates. There are large number of the cephalochordates we can visualize, but these urochordates are, as well as cephalochordata, they mostly found into the marine water, or these are exclusively marine in habitat, and they have very few members of their group or of their subphylum, and therefore these are also considered as a minor phyla. So there are many different minor phyla. One we have seen into the non-chordate or invertebrate, that is a Ctenophora with a few members, that therefore that is a that was also a minor phyla. Then hemichordata with a very few members, and therefore that is also a minor phyla. Urochordata with a few members, that is also minor phyla. Cephalochordata is also with few members, and therefore it is also minor phyla. So these have different kinds of the structures of the body, and they are completely different. So here also body is lanceolate and lancet shaped, and therefore it is called as a lanceolate. So these are the cephalochordates and the urochordates. Third type of a subphylum of this phylum Chordata is the vertebrata. So vertebrates do have different kinds of the characteristics. Subphylum vertebrata. Vertebrates are completely different. The important characteristic of these vertebrates: notochord is replaced by, notochord is replaced, not lost, replaced by vertebral column. Vertebral column. Notochord is replaced by vertebral column. They do have exoskeleton of many different types. There may be hairs on the body, scales on the body, furs on the body, plates on the body. Bony plates are present on the body. They do have endoskeleton. That endoskeleton can be of many different type. That endoskeleton can be of bony or cartilaginous, and therefore these are completely different. So you can simply say these may have jaws or may not, or with jaws and without jaws. These are with jaws or without jaws, and therefore these vertebrates can be divided into the two superclasses or two divisions, we can say. Two different kinds of the divisions you have with this vertebrates, that is a jawed or jawless. So we can look into the two different kinds of the superclass divisions of this subphylum Notochordata or vertebrata. Division, they are divided into the two divisions. So one is a division called as a agnatha. These are jawless animals. These are jawless animal. And another is the gnathostomata. These are the jawed animals. Some of the animals do have jaws, upper and lower jaw, and they form a mouth, a slit-like opening mouth. Those are called as a gnathostomata. Another group of the animal or of these vertebrata do have only a circular mouth or jaws are absent. In that case, these are called as a jawless animals or agnatha. The first we will see jawless animals. These have many different animals with different kinds of the structures, but only one group is right now existing, and that is the cyclostomata. And the only one class is extinct one. That extant class is the cyclostomata. Circular mouth is present. Jaws are absent, but the mouth is present, but that mouth is circular one, and therefore these are called as a cyclostomes. Stoma, mouth. Cyclo, circular. Cyclostomata. So these are completely different animals. This looks like a fish like, or here simply you can say eel-like animals. Eel-like animals. These are elongated body, elongated with can be divisible into the three parts: head, trunk and tail. Elongated body divisible into the three parts: head, trunk and tail. They have smooth skin without scales. They have fins, maybe median fins are present. So fins are there, but these are only median and unpaired or lateral unpaired fins are absent. Paired fins absent. So it is the another important characteristics we can see in this cyclostomes. These cyclostomes, endoskeleton is formed of a cartilaginous material. They do have the only one characteristics we can see, that is a circular mouth. Another important, mostly they are exclusively marine. They are mostly parasitic. Their mouth is formed in such a way that it can stuck to the other kind of the larger animals and suck the materials from their body. So stomach is absent in this in their digestive system. So these are completely different parasitic animals. There are many different kinds of the examples we can see. Many different kinds of the examples we can see of this parasitic one. When we look at the respiration with gills, and there are about many different pairs. So 6 to 15 pairs are there. Pairs of gills are there, and these are present in the pharyngeal gills, gill slits. So pharyngeal gill slits are also present simultaneously. Number of gill slits are equal to the number of gills. We can simply apply that phenomenon as well. So respiration with the gills. Heart, when we look at the circulatory system and the heart is two chambered. Just like a fish, this heart is two chambered, and one ventricle and the one auricle or atrium and the ventricle, that one atrium and one ventricle, two chambers are there. Most of the chambers, there is a single circulation. In this case, single circulation, we can say single circulation is present in this cyclostomes. Single circulation. In this single circulation, we can see the deoxygenated blood only comes into the heart, and therefore this kind of a heart is also called as a venous heart. It is a venous heart because only venous, that is a deoxygenated blood comes in the heart. Then heart pumps the blood towards the lungs or the gills, we can see here, and that leads to the body. The blood from the gills, it directly goes to the body and supplies the oxygen, and from the body the deoxygenated blood comes into the heart. So it is a venous blood, we can see. So these different kinds of the characteristics we do observe in this kind of the organism, that is cyclostomes. These are the fertilization is external, there is a spawning, and development is direct, and they have the aquatic nature of the development as well. So these are the cyclostomes, small class of this division Agnatha. Another division we can see, that is a Gnathostomata. Gnathostomata. In the Gnathostomata, these are the jawed animals. Presence of jaws in these animal is a key and peculiar characteristics. These animals also do have limbs. Limbs are present for many different kinds of the purpose, mostly for the locomotion. Present for locomotion. But there may be some of the organisms of this Gnathostomata lack the limbs, and therefore they may be divided into the two further superclasses. They can be divided into the two different kinds of the superclasses. First superclass Pisces. All the fishes we do see, those are included into the superclass Pisces. And another superclass, that is a tetrapoda. Tetrapoda is the another superclass with two pairs of limbs are present. Limbs present, you can simply say present. Two pairs of limbs are present in the tetrapoda. So these are the two superclasses of this division Gnathostomata Pisces and the tetrapoda. First we will see detailed features of this superclass Pisces, and then we will move towards the tetrapoda. First superclass Pisces, or these are the fishes. So when we look into the fish, what we can see, different kinds of the characters. First, you can see these are limbless animals. Limbs are not present. Arms absent or limbs absent. You can simply say limbs means arms, hands or legs are the limbs. So these are limbless animals. They have a streamlined body. These are mostly aquatic fishes are there. These are aquatic fishes. We can see many different kinds of the characteristics. Exoskeleton formed of scales on the body. Scales, and these scales can be of many different types. That is a placoid or ctenoid, etc. Many different kinds of the placoid, ctenoid, exoskeletal scales are present. So body is this skin is glandular as well, secreting the mucus secreting skin is present. So exoskeleton is present in this case. Endoskeleton is also present, and the endoskeleton is can be of a bony type or cartilaginous type of a endoskeleton. Endoskeleton can be formed of a bony structures or cartilaginous structures. So you can visualize these different kinds of the characters. Pharyngeal gill slits are present. pharyngeal gill slits present. Gill slits are present. About we can see 4 to 15 different kinds of the gill slits are present. To 15, we can generalize it. These are different in the different kinds of the fishes. So when we look into the respiration, these gill slits are harboring or protecting gills, and these gills are responsible for the respiration. Gills are responsible for respiration. Heart again, two chambered heart is present. One is a atrium and another is a ventricle. This heart is a venous type of a heart is present, because there is a single circulation and only deoxygenated blood comes in the heart. Therefore heart is a venous. Mouth protected with jaws, it may be terminal or ventral. We must remember, terminal or ventral mouth is present. Circulatory system is closed. So circulation through the blood vessel occurs. The blood vessels are distributed, or they are dispersed throughout the body, and blood provides the different kinds of the nourishment as well as the oxygen supply to the different body organs. So circulatory system is closed here. So brain is large with a brain. Nervous system is formed of a brain. Nervous system, brain is present. Brain large with well developed olfactory lobes, and therefore these another peculiar characteristics we do observe in the fishes. So this is the some important characteristic of the superclass Pisces. So Pisces are the different kinds of the fishes we can understand. So these Pisces can be further divided into the two different kinds of the classes. Class of this first, we can say, cartilaginous fish is another, and is of bony fishes. Is first one we can say chondrichthysis, and another is the osteichthyes. So these are the two different classes. Chondrichthyes is a class formed of a special kind of a fishes with a cartilaginous endoskeleton. And when we look at the osteichthyes, bony endoskeleton is present. So these are the two different kinds of the characteristics which are used for the differentiation between the class chondrichthyes and class osteichthyes. First we will see class chondrichthyes. How does it have many different kinds of the characteristics. These chondrichthyes are exclusively marine cartilaginous endoskeleton, cartilaginous endoskeleton. They do have another important pharyngeal gill slits, that is 5 to 7 pairs of gill slits are present in this case of this cartilaginous. Exoskeleton is present, is formed of the placoid scales. Placoid scales are present. Placoid scales are present. Caudal fins are present, and therefore caudal fin, when we look at it is a heterocircle. Caudal fin is present. The dorsal fin is present, and pairs of pectoral, caudal pairs of fins are present. So some are single fins are present, unpaired fins are present, dorsal fins are unpaired, and pectoral caudal fins are paired one. Pectoral and pelvic fins are paired one. Caudal fins are heterocircle, upper and lower lobe are completely different, and therefore these are completely different kinds of the fishes. When we look at the mouth of this cartilaginous fish is present at the lower side, is present at the ventral side. Ventral side mouth is present, and therefore these are completely different, we can simply say. So when we look into some of the spatial characteristics, they do have specialized structures. Some have electric organ is present, especially present in the torpedo for the protection, and some has poisonous sting is also present in trypan or a trigon, you can simply say, that is a trigon. These are the different kinds of the fishes. All the different kinds of the sharks comes under this cartilaginous type of endoskeleton. So these are the different, these are viviparous, you can simply say. Fertilization is internal. When we look into the reproduction, at that time reproduction, fertilization internal, and therefore these are viviparous type of a viviparous animals. They gives birth to their young ones directly. They gives birth to their young ones, and therefore these are called as a viviparous kind of the fishes. So these fishes are completely different than the other kind of fishes. So these are the cartilaginous fishes. This another group is the osteichthyes. Osteichthyes fish. These osteichthyes fish are formed of a bony endoskeleton. They do have bony endoskeleton. Pharyngeal gill slits are present, and there are about gill slits 4 to 5 pairs are present. 4 to 5 pairs are present, not 5 to 7. Those are present in the cartilaginous fish. Endoskeleton, exoskeleton. Exoskeleton is formed of scales, and these can be of two different types. One is a cycloids or ctenoid scales are present. So these are completely different. Body divisible into head, trunk and tail. You can see different kinds of the structures. Gills are protected with operculum or bony cover, that is called as a operculum. So gills are protected with operculum. So these are some of the important characteristics. When we look into the details of the reproduction is external fertilization, and these are oviparous. So reproduction is external in the water, and they do spawn, and they lay eggs into the water, and that eggs are responsible for undergoing the development outside the body. Therefore these are called as oviparous animals. So fishes, these are the bony fishes. Those are completely different. So when you look at these are freshwater as well as marine water fishes we can include in this osteichthyes. So osteichthyes includes a large number of the fishes which are marine as well as the freshwater fishes. So these are the osteichthyes. So these are the many different kinds of the animals, animal phyla we do classify. So today we have discussed many different kinds of the phylum. One is the echinodermata, another is the hemichordata, and then we have discussed also phylum chordata in detail. Subphylums of the phylum chordata, that is urochordata, cephalochordata and the vertebrata. The super classes of the divisions of the vertebrata also we have seen, that is agnatha, jawless and gnathostomata, jawed animals, and within this jawless animals we have seen the phylum cyclostomata, class cyclostomata. And when we look into the details of the jawed animals at that time, we have divided them into the two superclasses, that is superclass Pisces and the superclass Tetrapoda. And then among the Pisces, that is limbless animal, we can see the two different kinds of the classes. One is the class chondrichthyes and another is the class osteichthyes. When we see the summary chart of these different phylums of the phylum chordata at that time, or different groups of this phylum chordata at that time we can see, and it will be very easy to remember that phylum chordata. So phylum chordata. This phylum chordata is divisible into the three different kinds of the subphylum. You all know, and we have just seen the three different kinds of the subphylum. One is the urochordata. These are also called as tunicates. Tunic is presence of a tunic, and another is a notochord in tail region. These are the two important characteristics we have to remember. When we look into the another class, that is a cephalochordata. Cephalochordata. Within this cephalochordata, subphylum cephalochordata, we have the very good name for this lanceolate. These are mostly called as a lanceolates because they are just a fish like, they have fish like body they'll have. And another important characteristic, notochord present throughout body in head region as well. So these are the cephalochordata. And another is the vertebrata. Third kind of a subclass, subphylum, that is the vertebrata. In the vertebrates, notochord replaced by vertebral column. It is a important characteristics of this vertebrata. Further, this vertebrata is divisible into the two different kinds of the divisions, that is agnatha and gnathostomata. So these are the two divisions. These are the two divisions. These are the jawless, and these are the jawed one. They have jaws. Agnatha do not have jaws. The only one class we have of this agnatha, existing class, that is a cyclostomata. When we have this gnathostomata, we can divide this gnathostomata into the two. One is a Pisces, superclass Pisces, and superclass Tetrapoda. And within the Pisces, two different kinds of the fish we can see, that is or we can simply see one chondric thighs, and another is the ostick thighs. We have seen ostick thighs. We have seen different kinds of the characters of this, all different kinds of the groups. And when we look into the tetrapoda, we will be looking into the four different kinds of the groups of this tetrapoda. One is reptilia. First we can take amphibia. Another reptilia, class Aves, and class Mammalia. So these are the many different kinds of the groups of this phylum Chordata. So this chart will represent the short and informative characteristics of the phylum Chordata and its classification. So, and on the next lecture we will see what are the different classes of the superclass Tetrapoda. We will discuss in detail. So today we will stop here. Thank you.